Aloha mai kako. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Young. I am a 22-year-old full-time student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, here on Oahu. I'm a cultural anthropology student with a focus on indigenous studies, with the end goal of being a tattoo anthropologist slash practitioner. Today, I will be interviewed over the phone by Dimitri Young. We will be discussing the topic of the indigenous tattooing tradition of the Philippines called Batok, Filipino culture, as well as my interest in studies at UH Manoa. Hope you enjoy, and mahalo nui.
The first time I felt connected to indigenous Filipino culture was probably, I can't remember the specific point in time, but definitely when I was younger, growing up around my family, specifically during events, and seeing all the different foods and like it was nothing that my friends were really eating around me. It was something different. Kind of made me curious as to what being a Filipino was and how we identify through our traditions, specifically like our food culture in that aspect.
Was there a specific moment when tattooing stopped being academic for you and became more personal?
Yeah, so Tatak or Batak, which is a traditional indigenous Filipino tattooing practice, what sparked it was actually this tattoo anthropologist. His name is Lars Krutak. He has multiple books out, but one specifically was Indigenous Tattooing Practices of Asia. It was actually published here at UH Manoa. When I was looking through the pages, I kind of realized how deeply rooted tattooing was in our Filipino culture and how it was suppressed over time, specifically during the colonization of the Philippines from the Spaniards and the United States. And then from there, I kind of just grew a very deep passion for indigenous Filipino tattooing practices. My ancestry means everything to me. It's where, I would not be the person I am today without my ancestors that came before me. The way I look, in a way, the way I deal with my emotions, all that sort of stuff. My ancestry, so for the Filipino, and a lot of actually tattooing in general, the tattooing was actually seen as a way for your ancestors to find you in the afterlife. Apawang Ode, who is one of the last Kalinga women in the Philippines she kind of revitalized she was a Mamba Batak practitioner, which is a Filipino tattooing practitioner.
Women before who were tattooed, you were considered beautiful. In order to be a true Kalinga woman, you have to be tattooed. It was considered some sort of pride to be tattooed. And if they want to add to their sex appeal, then they have to be tattooed.
She said in an interview that you can't take anything with you, material-wise, to the afterlife. So while you're here on Earth, you can adorn yourself with all sorts of jewelry and whatever. But once you pass on to the next life, the only way for your ancestors to really find you is through your markings on your body. That's what my ancestry kind of means to me, and the reason that I think tattooing is so important. I've definitely felt like an outsider. I mean, when studying my own culture, it's kind of a hard thing to do as someone that is only, we're 25% Filipino. You definitely feel like an outsider because you kind of get these comments that I get, and I know a lot of people like me get.
With Filipinos, because my mom and dad was Filipino, and they would try to teach us, but my reality is I ain't trying to hear that, because when I go outside, most of my friends were Black, Samoan, and Latino. So they'd be like, what is you, Chinese? And I used to get embarrassed. I'm like, nah, I'm Filipino. They say, what's that? I didn't know how to explain it. And so I had an identity crisis. I used to always ask my teachers, can you tell me more about what Filipinos are? And they would say, what it say in the book. I said, well, there don't really ain't nothing in there. And the teacher would say, well, that's because there ain't nothing about you. And so I used to be confused, and I used to get in trouble. They said, man, you a troublemaker.
My cousin said this, you are 100% of what you are. There's a difference between having a marking that signifies the art style, or like, oh, like someone comes to the Philippines, right, and meets Apawang Ode in the mountains of the Kalinga tribe, and they get Apawang Ode's signature three dot marking, and they're white, or they're not of Filipino descent whatsoever. That's okay, but when it comes to specific markings to signify your ancestry, I think you have to be at least some sort of percent Filipino.
Do you see today's Tatak revival as healing, resistance, or something more complicated?
I mean, I feel like it's all of the above. Like, it's definitely healing. I definitely see it as a resistance, and to decolonize ourselves. I mean, I guess something that you didn't bring up was, so it's healing, it's a resistance, it's also a callback to our ancestors. There's a lot of things that go into it besides just those two little aspects of what you might get out of it.